I'll give a specific example. Last year I spent a year volunteering in a village in Nepal, and I worked there in sustainable development. So we worked in a community and we tried to work in a, holistic approach. It's a great organization called Tevel B'Tzedek, and I worked with them a lot. But the idea was that we had to, we had to work with communities and try, from a bottom-top approach, how to help the community basically sustain itself, so we don't have to be there, so we could at some point let them have their own freedom and do it. They don't need to be reliable on organizations like we are. That was the idea, to have a grassroots sort of bottom-top approach of work. So that's a background, but there are specific things that I realized when I worked there that were very connected to the same values that I learned in the school. So we did a lot of work with human networking, working on the human capital. The human capital is a way to sustain communities. Having people sharing their knowledge and and having them sharing their abilities to each other and utilizing it can make them stronger, as opposed to trying to build a society where each person is with himself and keeps it to himself. And that idea is, with that knowledge of what people, what are the strengths of everybody, and learning how to utilize it. So that's something that we did all the time in the school. Naturally, we wouldn't. When I had an idea in my mind of something I wanted to do, I would know who to talk to from my friends, and I would know how to do it and to convince him. Well, that's number one. Number two, I already talked a lot about the human connection, so I think that goes without saying that the human interaction and human connections is really, in my opinion, the key for my success, and it could be the key for others. I think the school really enhanced the creativity that helped me really prepare to think creatively, to think how to make an idea happen, because I had to always do that. And even in the most structured job, you need to always have creativity, because you have to have creativity when the boss asks you to do something that you don't know if you can do, or you don't know if you're able. You have to think about creative ways to solve that problem. I mentioned earlier, I have a language difficulty in English, in writing and reading. Hebrew is my mother tongue, so I think about creative ways to solve it. When I approach something that's new to me, I have to think that way. So creativity is not necessarily just dancing and art and singing. It could also be, which is also very creative, but using those intelligence, that helps you sort of figure out. And it also makes me really creative with the way I handle life, the way I choose the route I go. So that creativity that the school helped me.